This dude sounds depressed. He's like, fuck, I can't actually say things I want. Yeah, bro. I remember in college, you used to do that shit all the time. We'd go play basketball, and you wouldn't eat like all day long. You'd be like fucking at the end, be like about to pass out. I was like, yo, this dude's a fucking warrior. Yo, you know how many times you did that shit, bro? Like every time.
You would think
Just
he would
not
learn his
eat.
lesson, huh?
People do not change.
Oh, we got Logie in the chat. What's good, bro?
Oh, yeah. The Loaster. Yo.
The Lokester.
Right.
Yeah, young Dolph only.
Listen, bro. Delinquent and me do not go in the same sentence. I do pretty well for myself. Yeah, that's what you could say. They could say my friend is a fucking landlord and he has his own business. But
Damn, bro really went from being delinquent to flexing on us real quick.
hey, that's what you gotta do. You get put in the same sentence as a delinquent. Gotta protect the fucking brand, bro. Brand image. I have a very PC. I have a very PC brand.
not after these chats leak.
Like no, like literally no, like whether I'm talking to you guys offline, online, in real life, I just have a very PC brand. Like all of our conversations, I'm very PC.
Oh, all right. Well, there's one thing that I wanted to talk about to start us off. We need to chat about the Mr. Beast Ava Tyson situation.
Hmm.
So, for the people who live under a rock, like Slice, what ended up happening is before Ava was Ava, before they transitioned, they were one of the larger, on the largest platforms on YouTube with Mr. Beast. They started the channel together. Their first video ever uploaded on that was together. And what came out was that when Ava was still Chris, that they were messaging, like under 18 people. One happened to be 14 or 13, and there was nothing that was inherently explicit, but it was just very awkward conversations, like calling them daddy and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's not like sending images and shit. Yeah, it's
Why are you
crazy.
talking to a child to begin with that you don't know?
Right.
Like
Well,
even just a
apparently,
normal conversation is like if I was talking to some random fucking middle schooler that wasn't related to me or wasn't like a friend, you know what I mean? Like wasn't like a very close friend that maybe they're like a fucking nephew or something like that. That's weird to me
mhm.
too. Just
Well, I
that in
mean,
general.
to be fair, to give it the context that it actually has, to give it the context that it has, he was like live on platforms. Like he would be live on Discord. Yeah, that's true.
Oh shit! Can't
That's true.
cancel us.
Yeah, but Logie,
Three
we're never gonna ever
slice the
tell
job.
you anything weird. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in our DMs,
Um.
you creep.
You creep. But so this person Chris was having these inappropriate conversations with um, really young people, and then was also on Twitter.
Because you told us.
Look, I'm trying to be safe. I'm trying to
Yeah,
be
bro.
safe.
What happens, bro?
All right. Well, he was
Nah,
messaging
I'm with you, bro.
these
I know
kids.
why you're doing that. I get it.
So, but then what ended up happening as well is he was on Twitter, and on Twitter he was following an artist and DMing this artist that was making like lolly um, art. And I don't know if you guys know what lolly is. Yeah, he was like getting lolly commissioned for him. Like he was purchasing the art, asking for specific things. Yeah, he was being a PDF file, a P3O, if you will. Um, and
He was being a
it,
minor attracted person. That's the proper verbiage.
yeah, that's the dumbest. But people are mad at him obviously because of that. And then some people, and this is a minority of people, some people are like, well, that's a long time ago. That's not who they are right now. They transitioned from Chris to Ava, which I think is a wild comment. Well, they're saying that they're a different person. Like, I agree. I agree. But that's one camp of arguments. Another camp is that people are mad at Mr. Beast because they said that he knew and he didn't do anything about it.
Well, he doesn't want to get canceled because if he says anything bad about whatever that person's name is, Ava or Chris, I don't know. I think it would go by Ava. If
Yeah,
they
they go by Ava
if you
now.
kick them out, all she has to say is you're a phobic, and that's it.
Yeah, but this,
You could just they could just use it. You could just use that excuse for anything. Like you do a certain thing towards somebody based on their actions. They could say like you're being a phobic person.
yeah, but they knew about this. They're saying that they knew about this way back before they transitioned. Um, yeah, they were saying that they knew about this before they transitioned and that they didn't do anything. They kept them on videos.
That's crazy.
They kept them on payroll, and people are mad about that. Well, their number one evidence is that they've been friends since they were kids, like they went to school together. And then the other thing that they were saying was that the art that he was buying, the lolly art, he had in his apartment, and him and Mr. Beast were roommates.
Nah, yo, they're honestly. Let's be real. Okay, out of all people in this world, they're bugging. Nah, nah, they're bugging, bro. This dude has a whole channel online called Mr. Beast Philanthropy, where he
Yeah.
like ends like blindness and he solves like world hunger. Like, come on, bro. Just like that's something you just gotta let go. Like that, you think he knew about it? Like
He's
this
got a
dude has
fucking
literally like saved like thousands of lives, bro. Yeah, but they don't even know that that's true. They're just saying that shit.
I still, yeah. Yeah, that's a clip right there. That's a clip right there.
Yo, no, but the thing is, bro, the thing is like you could. That means if you can just say that Mr. Beast knew and he gets canceled for that, you can say anything about anybody that's bad and try to get them canceled. You just say shit, and then you with no backing to it. You could just say whatever you want about somebody. They did this.
Mhm.
I will. You don't. They'll never have. They'll never have a retort. They'll never have a retort to that because they know that deep down is true. That you can say anything about anybody, and because of cancel culture, people will go ahead and believe it. That's the problem. Is-
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it's
But how do
crazy.
you draw the line?
Um,
What does critical mean? You, you, so what does that mean? And like, give me an example. Give me an example of that.
mhm.
No. What I'm saying is like an example of not whether or not cancel culture is bad. An example of when cancel culture, like when shit is said, and it's basically like everybody just goes to believing that shit. Like in the Mr. Beast situation, is there proof that he knew?
No, it's
So,
all
so then,
speculation.
so then, what do you do? What do you do? So you said critical thinking. How do you critically think when there's no evidence? So then, okay, so then how is when okay, how did it come out first? Did somebody say that
Yeah,
he knew?
it was a former employee. This dude worked for him from February to June of this year, and he came out and said that. And then another guy, there's a guy. His name is Jake the Viking. He used to be on all of Mr. Beast's videos, and he's a content creator himself. When the news dropped, he had a tweet and he said that Jimmy knew.
Okay,
So there's
so
a
then
couple of people who are close to him who are saying these allegations as well.
that
The
leads me to my
employee, we
next
can
point.
always say that it's a the employee. We can always make the argument that he's a disgruntled employee. Maybe he's pissed that he worked for Mr. Beast for like less than 6 months and got canned. But the dude Jake the Viking, he's known Mr. Beast since like before 2020. They were making videos together. They were making videos I think in like 2018, and he they separated ways. They weren't pissed at each other. They just like stopped making videos together. And he wanted to kind of create his own thing. Um, so he left, started doing his own content creation, and then made that tweet when all this stuff was going on with Ava Tyson. He was like, "Oh, Jimmy knew," which I feel like, all right, you have somebody who we determined to be close to you and from the public's view to say these things. It doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Like we don't know what their relationship was like. But the other thing is, if you knew that Mr. Beast knew, that means you also knew as well. Why didn't you do anything, Jake? Like,
What here's no, but
right?
listen to this. Listen to
You
this,
make
right?
the argument that the biggest creator on the platform knew, but you were in that circle and you didn't say anything because it benefited you to.
There.
Yeah, straight up using the government the whole time.
No.
That means you
No,
knew
no,
that he
no.
knows
So
you knew
here's the
too.
thing that I'm trying to say is that we had our conversation multiple times about how celebrities and even normal people's lives, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You're just going off of what you see, and that's why I was trying to tell you, perception is everything, even if it's not behind the scenes. So you're going off perceived. Oh, he seems like he was close to him. Oh, so he must know everything. Oh, so therefore he must be the best source to tell this shit. But how do you know actually what was going on behind the scenes? Because we don't. Yeah.
Critically think.
Yo, and my question is, so if it's so easy to not know what's going on behind the scenes, if there's a lot more, usually everything people say black and white, usually it's gray. That's how the world works. Usually there's more to
Mm.
the story than people think. How is cancel culture a good thing if you can just judge without having any information behind it
Yeah, a
for
good
a lot of
example is the good
how's
example
that
is the
good?
Johnny Depp situation with Amber Heard. Yeah, but then, but what about the opposite of that? What about the opposite where the evidence that is presented to the public isn't the evidence that's actually necessarily true? Because the example that I tried to bring up was Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. He eventually took it yeah, that got taken to court, but that's the
He
only
lost so
reason
much
why
money
we
off
know
of
that.
that shit. He lost
Yeah,
literally
I mean,
fucking so
he
many
lost
movies.
roles, and even to this day, he hasn't fully recovered. But
He
the
does
only
not.
reason why we know the truth is because of it being brought to court. The truth of it is this.
But that's
Yeah,
why.
but
But there's the thing.
the
But where do
issue
you
is
draw the line? Where do you draw the line? It's kind of like, you know what I mean. Like, where do you draw the line? Because you have so many kind of people who are not fit to cancel somebody. They're not like intellectually fit to cancel somebody. You give them the power to cancel whoever they want to, and then and on the other side, they're abusing like anybody who thinks they have a voice online. Like, you know how many people like fucking take a.
no, that's not true. I disagree with
That's
that.
no, that's
I
probably the
disagree with that.
majority of it is social media
Yeah,
and media.
let me say something. I want I want to squeeze in. There's two courts. There's the court of public opinion, and then there's the actual judicial system. With the court of public opinion, with the judicial system, there's a process in place where you're innocent until proven guilty. With the public court, it's the opposite, and there's industries behind it. You have social media, you have all these tabloids like TMZ or these morning talk shows or these streamers who make a living off of regurgitating information that may not necessarily be true, but it's in the public zeitgeist, and you won't be able to discern the truth because of that industry that's behind the court of public opinion. And without dismantling that, right? Like how many people would lose their jobs? TMZ wouldn't be around. These tabloids or morning talk shows won't be around. Wendy Williams wouldn't have a show. Streamers like
The
Ludwig
View.
or XQC won't be able to talk about these things. But the truth of it is it doesn't matter what's true or not. It matters what's popular to talk about. And in the court of public opinion, you're guilty until proven innocent. In the court of law, it's not always the case, but you should
You're
be
the opposite.
guilty.
And bro, like it's literally like I don't think I think cancel culture is bad only on the sole fact that I don't think America is fit to be able to wield that power to have cancel culture because you abuse that power. Just like that, you said that guy was doing all that fuck shit up top. He was abusing that power. He shouldn't have it. I think America is not fit. The average American is not fit to have to wield like cancel culture and be able to like destroy somebody's career. And the media too, and the media as well. No, no, it should be no, it should be like the court of public opinion, and it should be innocent until proven guilty instead of the reverse. That's how you solve that. You don't
Yeah,
automatically jump to like this person
but
was guilty.
that's not how society works. That's not how society works. Like
No, it doesn't work
people
like that, but it
people
should.
are hardwired to gossip because I think gossiping is a social construct that brings people together. Um, it's unfortunate that it can work towards the negative, but there's no way you can't ever take away the ability for people to voice their opinion on a topic unless that topic isn't public knowledge. Like, if there is an accusation on somebody, the only way that you can make it so that Americans who, um, interact with the popular zeitgeist of things that are going on is that information isn't in the zeitgeist until proven true. But that's not how humans operate. Humans like to gossip because we're social creatures, and that brings people together. We're no matter how you want to slice it or dice it, it's just a fact. Like from the days of us being in small tribes to you know to small villages to now massive civilizations, people are gonna gossip. It doesn't matter if it's on the small scale of like oh they hooked up to the big scale.
No, the issue is coming out with just doesn't have a fucking voice. Which is that's the most common thing. And I think of cancel culture like like an AR-15 rifle. Like yeah, you can have guns, but like the AR, like a fucking
You
assault
mean pew
rifle.
pews, pew pews.
Yeah, that is where the government deems like no person should be walking the street with that. And why? Why is that? Because it's like too much for the average person. They don't see any use for it. I kind of look at that the same way. Like the average person, I don't think they're fit. I don't think they're fit to be able to critically think and like look beyond certain things because everybody has preconceived notions about certain things, whether it's from their life, whether it's from some like something that happened or whatever. They have preconceived notions and biases always come out regardless and if we say they shouldn't come out. So that's why I think like the average person and like cancel culture, the whole movement is kind of idiotic because it's like it's used so wrong. So wrong. It's used right sometimes, but it's also used very wrong.
I think I'd be interested in also hearing what the chat has to say about that. Like, do you think that the average American isn't available to or doesn't have the capability to determine the truth or have that critical thinking skill? I think yeah, it falls onto the education system. They're not everywhere teaches how to critically think. Ooh, all right, but yeah, give us an example as to what you think that is. What
I just
positives are there to
I
cancel
just
culture
wonder I
compared to the
wonder how
negative?
many people are like Johnny Depp though. like not even on a famous scale, and they just didn't have the lawyers to be able to defend themselves. Because that's the only reason why he even somewhat recovered his career, and he hasn't, is because of that shit. Because he literally spent millions of dollars going to court. Now imagine if you couldn't afford a lawyer and you had a public attorney and you were like all fucked up in that shit. There's probably many, many people out there who have had their lives ruined. So then, how do you? I'm just. So how do you know that it doesn't happen? Because I'm looking at it that I looked at Johnny Depp and it did happen. So I'm wondering. You could also argue that that the cancel culture that cancels the people in power doing fuck shit is not plaguing the nation either, because it's what you pick like one once every month, like one or two people it comes out that they're doing some weird shit out of how many millions of people. So you could argue on the other side that it's not as big of a problem as it's made to be, because the amount of people in power that are doing fuck shit is like one in a fucking million. So then why does it exist if it's not a big problem? Yeah, if it's not either way, it's not a big problem. Why is it even here? So then, but we literally just came to an agreement that it was equilibrium, that it doesn't really have an effect in either way too much. So why is it? We just agreed that it didn't. But you said that when I was talking about the Johnny Depp thing, you said how often does that actually happen? And I was like, how do you know it doesn't happen? And then you were like, well, then we can conflate that there's equilibrium in both ways where This is- by the way, real quick, this is an amazing debate so far, bro. Honestly, actually, so far. Well,
Yeah, but
that's a little different because we
yeah,
we
that's a little
literally
different.
watched
That one's
on
not a good
TV.
example.
Nah, that's
Yeah.
that's not good because we literally watched this dude go through hell on TV. So, so cancel culture. Yeah, but it's also hypothetical in the other way because we don't know what's going on behind. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We're making a judgment. Okay, so I'm just strictly debating here. We're making a judgment on what's happening on the other side of the world, wherever all the fuck shit happens, where people are getting canceled. We're making a judgment based on what we hear online. So we hear from the media, which lies. We hear from online sources, which I like. Literally, Dur just said streamers just kind of report what they see in the media, like whether or not knowing it's true or not. So we don't know. We don't know what's really happening. Yes. So who are we?
Perpetuated.
So who? What I'm saying is, who are we as Americans to go ahead and act on what we don't know? Not acting on it is different than acting on it. Who are we to go and create like do things in the world that's based on stuff we hear, bro? We could be being fed nonsense. We could be not. We don't know. We don't know. We don't have a choice. That's why I'm saying it. Cancel culture is bad because it forces you either believe what you see online or you're a bad person. It puts you in those two categories. That's 100% my point. And but what you think? Okay, so you're saying that media can be trusted because that they're evil. So how do you know what's a lie and what's not? How do you know what's true and what's not true? Oh yeah, you think about it, right? You think about it in your room and you fucking are like what makes the most sense, but that doesn't mean it's true unless you see it.
Right.
So do you believe that? Do you believe that God's real? Why? Because you didn't see it, right? But if you saw it, you believe it, right? I'm saying so seeing something is believing it. Hearing about it is not 100% true. You might be being fed lies. So you choose to not be religious. You choose to not be religious, right? So since okay, I see where you're going. I'm just trying to yeah. Yep. Because you see it. Because you see it. You're literally agreeing with my point. You know gravity because you can sit there and test it. How do you test how listen, listen. How do you test how do you test and see if somebody should be canceled? You take it to court and you let the judicial system decide. That's the best way to test something instead of just saying what you heard online and just running with that shit. Just like you can't test the God shit, so you choose to not act. So we agree. I'm sticking in these two spots. This is my I'm standing on these 2 points. Hello? This dude definitely went off.
Yeah, he just cut off real quick.
I'm just trying to say like that happens all the time. Like people lose their careers and their jobs and shit like that. I just see it. I see it all day long. And it's like
Yeah.
because you choose to act, but on the same time he's choosing not to act and believe on the God thing, even though he's saying that people are like okay to act on what they hear and what's being told to them that they don't know is true because they can sit in the room and critically think and think maybe this makes sense. Okay, maybe since it makes sense, let me go ahead with it.
No,
Like
I don't think
let me
either of you
believe this to be
are
true.
off. I don't think the two of you guys are far off from the same point. Like what he's saying is nothing should be believed without evidence-based critique, right? Like you need to have evidence to in order to critique things on a genuine level. You're also saying the same thing. You're like, well, if it's just hearsay, it shouldn't be the case. I don't think you guys are too far off. I think what you guys are a little different on is that you're saying it's nobody, like, because of that, cancel culture isn't a good thing. He's saying you can come up with, you can infer based off of the evidence that you have and make a decision whether or not you can cancel. But I think the in between on that is you have to have the critical thinking skills before you can make that inference. You know, on your end, it's like it doesn't matter whether or not I believe in this until it's proven. Cool, I'm not going to believe it. He's saying, I mean, similar. Like there has to be evidence to prove this, but
No,
also
no, yeah,
I have
no, I
enough
can.
information. I can read between the lines and make the decision that this,
And there's like a people who are qualified to make certain decisions. They go to school for it. They're educated. They have a good head in their certain things like how this should go, how this should go to be as fair as it possibly. There's a ruling to be able to do that, but the court of public opinion being yeah, cancel everybody, cancel them. That's the fuck shit to me because they're culture and it's in a fucking courtroom. That's what
yeah.
I believe should exist.
Flight, are you back?
No, he's definitely.
Sure, we're still back on live though.
You didn't hear what I was saying while you were gone. It's basically saying like the cancel culture is just wrong. Like where it is, like the cancel culture that today is the court of public opinion. Like if somebody says something and that wrong talk, somebody loses their job.
Right,
Like
and that's not
their
deemed as
whole career is
true.
fucked. It's true or not. The real cancel culture that should exist, the bad thing. I think how it exists today is a bad thing. The real cancel culture that should exist is a core people who are qualified